People often ask us, how do you find campsites that allow Tesla camping? And I wish the answer was simple, but unfortunately, since Tesla camping falls under the umbrella of car camping, we're often viewed as second-class citizens. However, there's definitely a method to this madness, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can find the best campsites that will allow you to sleep in your Tesla. But let's quickly address the elephant in the room. Why do some campsites not allow you to sleep in your Tesla? Well, each campsite is different and they all have their own reasons. One could be that they aren't licensed to allow people to sleep in a vehicle that isn't classed as a leisure vehicle. So if you're in a motorhome, you're fine, but if you're in your car, it's a no-go. For those travelling in a car, you'd need to park up and use a tent to pitch up on their tent pitches. And that is even if they have any left, since motorhomes and converted vans seem to be taking over many campsites now. The other reason could be because we're lumped in the same boat as all car campers, which includes those driving an ICE vehicle. You know, your traditional vehicle with an engine and those nasty exhaust fumes. The site owners might have this blanket no car camping policy in place to avoid people running their engines, creating noise and pollution that could affect fellow campers. There's also the concern of CO2 poisoning, which obviously doesn't affect us Tesla campers, because if we're using camp mode, it's going to circulate fresh air into the cabin. There's a whole bunch of possible reasons, but at the end of the day, it's their campsite and it's their rules, so there's not really much we can do about it. On a positive note, however, we discovered that mainland Europe appears to be very pro car camping, whereas, as always, here in the UK, we're lagging behind, with many campsites turning their nose up to anyone who even dares to think about car camping. So how do we go about finding campsites that will let us Tesla camp or even car camp in general? Well, last year we went on a 20-day Tesla camping road trip around Europe, visiting a variety of countries. And there was one app we used exclusively to solve this problem. And the good news is, you most likely already have it installed on your phone. Pause for a second and take a guess as to what it is. Not only did it help us find campsites we could stay at, it also helped us research local attractions, shops, restaurants, and more. Yes, we're talking about good old Google Maps. And there's 3 steps we need to take here in order to find campsites that allow Tesla camping. Step 1 is to simply open Google Maps and navigate to the general location you would like to discover campsites in. Then all you need to do is type in the word campsite in the search bar and hit enter. This will display many of the popular campsites in that area. But if you want to see even more options or wish to research a different location, simply zoom in or move to a new location and then press the button that pops up saying search this area. This will give you an updated list of the popular campsites in that area. You can now click on any campsite to find out tons of information. This includes reviews, which you can filter by most recent, photos that have been uploaded by the site owners, and also photos that reviewers have uploaded themselves. The recent reviews function was a game changer, as this allowed us to narrow down our search. For example, one of the campsites we wanted to visit looked great. It had amazing lakeside views and facilities, but many reviews highlighted the fact that there was a bar across the road that liked to play music late into the night, and many of the bar customers enjoyed singing along as well. Without this knowledge, we could have ended up paying for a camping experience that we would soon regret. So these public reviews are super helpful to make sure you find the right campsite for your own preferences. On Google Maps, you can also get directions to see how long it will take you to drive there. Sometimes you can also check availability, check-in and check-out times, on-site facilities, and whether they have a website or phone number. Step 2 is where we start to go a bit deeper. Ideally, you want to find a campsite that has a functioning website and especially an FAQ page. So head to their website if they have one and look for an FAQ page or section. You might also find the info you need in their terms and conditions, which could be listed on their website as well. Sometimes they will confirm on their FAQ if they allow car camping or not. However, it is common for this not to be addressed on their website. And in that case, we're going to have to move on to step 3. It's time to ask for help. And this is going to save you a whole lot of stress. Because the last thing you want is to travel to a campsite only to be turned away because they don't allow car camping or they don't have any availability. So for step 3, all we need to do is give them a call if they have an available telephone number or send them an email. I've included a draft email template in the video description for an easy copy and paste. But for the most part, it's super simple. All you want to do is to inform the site owners that you intend to camp in your Tesla and politely ask them if they allow this on their campsite, and if so, which pitch should you book. Some campsites are happy for you to choose a grass pitch to Tesla camp, whereas others will insist on a hard standing pitch. This is going to help determine your setup and what tools you need to bring with you. Then finish the email by asking if car camping is allowed, do they have any availability for the date or dates you wish to camp? And that's it. Although, from our experience, it can take several days to receive a reply, if you even get a reply at all. In that case, you'll definitely want to give them a call or have a look for any social media pages like Facebook or Instagram and send them a direct message there. If you intend on camping in your Tesla with a tent, either attached to the car or next to your car, I'd recommend sending them a photo in the email or direct message via social media so they can see firsthand what your setup looks like. I'd also recommend taking a rough measurement of your setup, including the car and tent, so you can let them know how much space you will require. Most campsite owners are more than happy to help you find the right pitch for your setup, and we find that being upfront and honest is the best course of action. Some campsites will allow you to Tesla camp, but only if you bring a tent, since they still don't want you sleeping in your car. And some crafty people have taken a decoy tent simply to set up and use as storage but not to sleep in, since most campsites won't actually be checking if you're sleeping in the tent or not. They'll just ask and take your word for it. But if you do decide to do this, be warned that if caught, you could be banned from the campsite entirely. There are other apps and platforms you can use to find campsites, such as PitchUp, but we found Google Maps to be a one-stop shop and the best overall solution. You can quickly find tons of potential campsites with all of the info you need to get in touch, including genuine reviews and recent photos to give you a better understanding of the campsite. Not to mention, you can then check out local attractions, landmarks, shops, restaurants, and even Tesla superchargers, all from the same app. And as a bonus tip, once you've found the campsite you want to visit, you can press the share button and then select the Tesla app, and this will send the campsite to your Tesla, so that once you hop in the driver's seat, the navigation route will load automatically without you having to search for it again. If you're heading to a campsite or multiple campsites in the busy holiday season, I recommend securing your bookings in advance. Otherwise, you'll be in the same boat we were in last year, calling every single campsite we could find, only to be turned away by 99% of them, not because they didn't allow car camping, but because they were fully booked. And if you don't think there's many campsites that allow Tesla camping, just have a look at some of the campsites we visited while travelling mainland Europe. Some of them even had on-site charging stations, and there were many others car camping without a tent or with rooftop tents. You might find it more difficult to find campsites that allow Tesla camping in the UK, but it's definitely possible, and I hope that these tips help you find your next campsite. So do us all a favour and drop the name and location of the campsites you've visited that allow you to Tesla camp in the comments below. And if you want to know the items that you're going to need to Tesla camp, we made a quick video breaking these items down which you can watch over here.